"Why are you staring, human?" The alien woman's reaction left me frozen. The twin suns of Aurora Prime dipped low over the horizon, casting long shadows across the rocky terrain. Dust swirled around the human exploration team as they made their way toward a vast plateau in the distance. Commander Elias Kane adjusted the strap of his oxygen pack, glancing at the holographic map projected in front of him. "Coordinates are correct," he said. "The sensors are picking up something." Lieutenant Mira Han looked over his shoulder, her brow furrowed. "Something or someone? The readings are unusual. Not like anything in the database." Elias didn't answer immediately. His attention was drawn to the faint glimmer in the distance, something moving, yet eerily still. As they got closer, he felt a strange pull in his chest, a mix of curiosity and disbelief. There she stood. At first, Elias thought he was seeing a trick of the light. A figure, tall and graceful, emerged from the shimmering energy of the alien landscape. Her skin shimmered like liquid sapphire under the twin suns. Her hair, silver with streaks of light, flowed around her shoulders as if moved by an invisible wind. Her eyes. Elias had never seen eyes like that. They were large, almond-shaped, and glowed faintly with a color he couldn't name. They seemed to look directly into him, not just at him, but through him. He froze. Lieutenant Han nudged him gently. "Commander, you're staring." Elias shook his head, trying to clear it. I can't help it," he admitted. She's not like anything we've ever seen." The alien figure tilted her head slightly, her expression calm, yet commanding. Then, to Elias's shock, she spoke in perfect human language, clear and precise. "Why are you staring, human?" The question hit him like a shockwave. His mouth opened, then closed. He could feel his heartbeat racing. Everyone else in the team had stopped moving, their own senses on high alert. None of them had expected this. She can speak our language," Mira whispered, eyes wide. Elias nodded slowly, still unable to tear his gaze away. And she's looking at me. Just me." The alien woman stepped closer, her movements fluid and precise, each step almost musical. Despite her beauty, there was danger in her poise, a sense that she was powerful in ways humans had not imagined. Elias instinctively stepped back, but his legs felt heavy, frozen by a strange mixture of awe and caution. "You are not afraid?" she said, almost as if reading his thoughts. Her voice was melodic, yet held weight, commanding attention without force. Elias swallowed hard. We are explorers," he said carefully. "We mean no harm." The alien's gaze shifted briefly toward the rest of the team, then back to him. Explorers or invaders? Elias felt a chill run down his spine. The question was not accusatory, but analytical, almost clinical, and yet beneath it, there was something else. Curiosity, perhaps even entertainment. He cleared his throat. "Explorers, we're curious. We want to learn." For a moment, the alien woman didn't speak. She just observed, tilting her head as though she was weighing the truth of his words. Then she extended her hand slightly, motioning toward the plateau ahead. "Follow." The team exchanged uncertain glances. Mira spoke first. "Sir, should we? We don't know if this is a trap." Elias hesitated. He felt the weight of leadership pressing down on him, but something in him, something primal, urged him forward. Humans were explorers. Humans faced the unknown. And humans had something the aliens did not understand: intuition, courage, and adaptability. "Move carefully," Elias instructed. "Stay alert, but follow her. Let's see where this goes." The team moved cautiously, weapons raised but unthreatening. The alien woman led them across a narrow ridge, her steps effortless over the jagged rocks. Despite the alien terrain, she moved with a grace that made it seem easy, almost unnatural. Elias noticed that she never looked back, never seemed concerned with their pace. She was confident. As they approached the plateau, the team began to notice the strange structures rising from the ground. They were unlike anything built by humans, or any alien species in their database. The towers were tall and organic-looking, as if grown from the very rock beneath their feet. Energy flowed along the surfaces in patterns that resembled veins, glowing faintly with the same color as the alien woman's eyes. Mira whispered, "It's..." Elias nodded, feeling a mixture of awe and unease. "It's advanced. Very advanced." The alien woman stopped at the edge of the plateau and gestured toward the largest tower in the center. "Enter." The humans hesitated. The air felt heavier here, charged with something they couldn't name. Even the twin suns above seemed dimmer, as if the structure absorbed light. Elias took a deep breath. "We go together," he said firmly. "Stay close, stay alert." As they stepped inside, the interior was more astonishing than the exterior. Walls pulsed with light, yet they were solid. Strange symbols shifted along the surfaces, almost alive. The floor seemed to respond to their steps, glowing briefly where they walked. The alien woman walked ahead without hesitation, as if the space belonged to her. Elias felt a sense of smallness, not fear, but humility. Humans had traveled far, seen countless worlds, yet nothing had prepared them for this. Then she stopped in a chamber at the heart of the tower. The room was circular, vast, with a high ceiling that disappeared into darkness. Energy flowed from a central crystal, lighting the chamber in shifting shades of blue and violet. The alien woman turned to them again. "I have observed many species," she said. "You are curious. You are brave. But you are also fragile." Elias felt the weight of her words. He knew she meant physically, yet he sensed she underestimated something else. Humans' ability to endure, to adapt, to survive against impossible odds. Mira stepped forward. "We're not fragile," she said quietly but firmly. The alien woman's eyes met hers. "Perhaps not. We shall see." Suddenly, the crystal in the center of the room pulsed brightly. A holographic display sprang to life, showing a series of tests, puzzles, and challenges, none of which had a clear solution. The alien woman's gaze shifted to Elias, then to the team. "This is your trial," she said simply. "Show me what you are." Elias exchanged a glance with Mira and the others. The challenge was clear. This was more than observation. It was a test. And humans thrived on challenges. He nodded slowly. "We'll do it. Together." The alien woman's expression didn't change, yet there was a flicker in her eyes. Interest, perhaps. "Very well. Begin." The first task was deceptively simple. Navigate a shifting floor that seemed designed to trap or confuse them. One misstep could leave them suspended over a pit that disappeared into darkness. Aliens watching this would have assumed humans would panic, but Elias led calmly, guiding the team with steady instructions. Mira's quick thinking helped them anticipate shifts. Another team member, Sergeant Rowe, improvised a makeshift bridge using his tools and debris found in the room. Every small action showed creativity, cooperation, and human ingenuity. The alien woman watched silently, her head tilted, observing every move. Elias noticed her eyes lingered on how humans communicated without words, how they adapted instinctively. He realized she had never seen anything like this before. Hours seemed to pass, though they might have been minutes. The humans pressed through challenge after challenge, each one more complex than the last, and with every success, the alien woman's expression softened, a hint of admiration in her eyes, though she would never admit it. Finally, the last challenge required the team to solve a puzzle based not on logic alone, but emotion, empathy, and trust. A series of holographic projections depicted scenarios involving life and death. Only by understanding each other, predicting responses, and placing trust in one another could they succeed. Elias closed his eyes briefly, centering himself. He reached out, trusting his instincts. He guided Mira, Sergeant Rowe, and the others through the puzzle. Slowly, the projection shifted, aligning perfectly. A deep hum resonated through the chamber as the crystal glowed brighter than ever. The alien woman stepped forward. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. "You have succeeded, for now." Elias felt a surge of relief, pride, and something else, a spark of connection, as if the alien woman understood more than words could convey. She tilted her head and spoke again, the words, both a warning and a promise. "Human, you are unlike any I have seen. Do not think this will be easy." Elias nodded. "We wouldn't expect it to be," The room pulsed with energy. One last time. The challenge had ended, but the encounter had only just begun. Outside, the twin suns were dipping below the horizon, casting long shadows over Aurora Prime, and Elias realized that this alien world and the beings in it would never underestimate humans again. And deep inside him, he felt it. The story of humanity on Aurora Prime had just begun. The crystal's glow faded slowly, leaving the chamber bathed in soft shadows. Elias Kane and his team stood in silence, catching their breath. Outside, the alien city stretched endlessly, towers twisting toward the sky like living beings. Every surface seemed to hum with energy, and the air vibrated slightly, as if the planet itself were alive. Thalira, the alien woman, stood at the center of the chamber, her eyes fixed on the humans. She had watched them closely during the challenges, her face betraying nothing. Yet Elias noticed something unusual. A flicker of curiosity, a trace of emotion she did not attempt to hide. "You have done well," she said, her voice calm and melodic. Yet this was only the beginning. Elias stepped forward, keeping his tone steady. "We expected more challenges. What is your purpose?" Thalira tilted her head. "Purpose? Observation. Assessment. Understanding. Your species is unpredictable, fragile yet persistent. Intelligent yet emotional. That combination is fascinating." Mirahan exchanged a glance with Elias. "Fascinating? Are you planning to experiment on us?" Thalira's gaze sharpened. "No experiments. Not yet. You are free to leave if you wish, but to leave now would be unwise." Elias frowned. "Why? What is coming?" The alien woman did not answer directly. Instead, she gestured toward a doorway that opened into a long corridor illuminated by soft, shifting light. "Walk, observe, learn. You will understand soon." With cautious steps, the humans followed her into the corridor. The walls pulsed gently with energy, and strange symbols appeared and disappeared as they moved. Elias felt an odd sense of awareness, as if the building itself were alive and watching them. "Do you feel that?" whispered Roe, the sergeant. "Like it knows we're here?" Elias nodded. "Stay alert. This world is different, and everything here is a test." They reached a chamber at the corridor's end. Inside, the room opened into a massive arena, circular and vast. At its center stood several holographic structures, shifting constantly. Thalira motioned for the humans to enter. "This is your next test," she said. "Observe, adapt, survive." The humans stepped forward, unsure of what they would face. Suddenly, the floor shifted beneath them. Platforms rose and fell unpredictably. Energy barriers flickered into existence, threatening to cut off passage. The air hummed with tension. "Stay together," Elias shouted. "Watch the floor patterns. Follow my lead." The humans began to move carefully, jumping between platforms and dodging energy fields. At first, they struggled. The alien design seemed impossible to navigate, yet with each misstep, they learned. Each failed jump or miscalculation became a lesson. They adapted. Thalira watched silently from above, her arms folded. She did not intervene, only observed. "They learn quickly," she murmured to herself. "More quickly than I anticipated." Hours, or maybe minutes, time felt distorted, passed as the humans faced one challenge after another. Some required physical agility, others demanded logic and strategy. At one point, a massive platform tilted dangerously, threatening to dump 2 team members into a deep chasm of shadows. Without hesitation, Elias grabbed Mira's arm, and Ro extended a tool as a bridge. Together, they crossed safely. The alien woman's gaze lingered on them. She noted how the humans communicated silently, using gestures and eye contact. How they improvised tools from their environment, how they protected one another instinctively. She had expected fear, panic, perhaps even failure, yet here they were, surviving against odds she had thought insurmountable. "Interesting," Thalira whispered, her voice barely audible. "Perhaps humans are not so fragile after all." As the team advanced, another challenge appeared. A series of holographic projections depicting a hostile alien species attacking a smaller, weaker civilization. The humans were asked to choose how to respond, with options that tested morality, empathy, and judgment. Elias studied the projections carefully. He realized brute force was not the solution. Instead, the humans would need to coordinate, deceive, and understand the attacker's weaknesses. "Listen," he whispered to the team. "These projections are teaching us something. Watch their patterns. Think like them. Find the gaps." They worked together, analyzing movements and predicting outcomes. Mira suggested a distraction. Ro improvised a trap, and Elias coordinated their actions. Slowly, the projections responded, shifting in ways that showed success. Thalira's eyes widened slightly. No alien had solved this sequence before. It required not just intelligence, but human creativity and teamwork, something aliens rarely valued or understood. "Fascinating," she muttered. "They adapt even in moral and emotional complexity. Not purely logic-driven, not purely instinct-driven. Unpredictable, powerful." But she was not done. The next challenge pushed the humans to their limits. The arena's energy pulsed violently, creating dangerous terrain shifts. A sudden eruption of energy caused platforms to collapse, separating Elias from the others. "Stay calm," Elias shouted, gripping a ledge above a gap. "Mira Ro, follow my voice." The humans worked as one, improvising ropes, using tools, and relying on trust rather than technology. They reunited in the center just as the energy began to stabilize. Thalira approached, her expression inscrutable. "You survived this test, yet I wonder if survival alone defines your strength. Humans are resilient, yes. But are you truly extraordinary?" Elias looked directly at her. "We don't just survive. We adapt, we learn, we protect one another, and we never stop trying." For the first time, Thalira paused, studying him. She tilted her head, as if reevaluating everything she had assumed about humans. "Perhaps there is more to you than I expected." Before the humans could respond, another ripple passed through the arena. A team of alien observers appeared, larger and more intimidating than Thalira, clearly less tolerant of human unpredictability. They moved with precision, exuding authority and threat. "They're coming," whispered Bro. "They look angry." Thalira's eyes narrowed. "They do not understand. They think humans are fragile. I will teach them otherwise." The alien observers advanced, creating barriers and traps designed to isolate the humans. The humans faced a choice: retreat or confront the unknown. Elias assessed the situation quickly. "Stick together. Don't panic. Observe, learn, improvise. That's what we do best." The humans moved carefully, using the terrain, analyzing the alien movements, and improvising strategies on the fly. Where brute force would fail, they relied on coordination and ingenuity. One of the alien observers lunged at Elias with a weapon of energy. Elias ducked, using his momentum to throw a nearby tool at the alien's control panel, causing a temporary malfunction. Mira followed, creating a small energy shield with her suit's limited power, protecting the team. The aliens were clearly confused. No species they had encountered had reacted so unpredictably. Each human action contradicted expectations, turning perceived weakness into unexpected advantage. Thalira observed quietly from above, her expression unreadable, yet a faint glow in her eyes betrayed a growing admiration. Humans were learning fast, thinking beyond rules and expectations, acting with both courage and care. Hours passed in a blur of energy, strategy, and improvisation. By the end, the alien observers had retreated, unable to predict the humans' next moves or counter their ingenuity. The humans stood together, exhausted but triumphant. Thalira descended to their level, her presence both commanding and calm. "You have surpassed expectations. You survive, adapt, and overcome in ways even I did not anticipate. Perhaps humans are not fragile at all." Elias looked at her, chest heaving, sweat and grime marking his face. "We never are. That's who we are." The alien woman studied him closely, then nodded once. "You intrigue me. I will watch more closely, learn more about what makes humans extraordinary." Mira let out a small laugh, still catching her breath. "Well, at least someone appreciates us." Thalira's gaze softened for a moment, almost imperceptibly. Do not misunderstand. You are fascinating, but still untested. The galaxy is far harsher than this arena. We shall see if your species truly rises to the challenges ahead. This was only the beginning. Aurora Prime, the alien civilization, and Thalira herself were tests of a sort he had never imagined. Yet, despite exhaustion, fear, and the unknown, he felt something unmistakable. Humans thrived under pressure. Then let's see what happens next, he said firmly, glancing at his team. We're ready. Thalira's eyes glimmered faintly as she spoke, her tone both challenge and promise. Indeed, we shall see. Prepare yourselves, humans. The real trials are coming. Outside, the alien city stretched endlessly into the twin suns' fading light, each tower alive with energy and secrets. For Elias and his team, every step forward would be a test of courage, intelligence, and the human spirit. And somewhere deep inside, he felt a spark, a truth that resonated beyond fear or fatigue. Humans are never truly defeated by the unknown. They adapt, they endure, they prevail. The arena doors closed behind them with a hum, sealing the next stage of the challenge. The humans had survived the first tests of skill, mind, and emotion, but Thalira had made one thing clear. The galaxy would not underestimate them again. The sun had just begun to dip behind the jagged peaks of Aurora Prime, as Elias Kane and his team stepped out of the pulsating chamber. The air was heavy, filled with a strange energy that made their skin tingle. Every tower in the alien city seemed alive, glowing faintly, its energy flowing like veins through the structures. Thalira stood before them, her eyes fixed on the humans. Her cerulean skin reflected the fading light, and the faint luminescence of her veins pulsed like the heartbeat of the city itself. For the first time, Elias noticed her attention wasn't just on him. It swept over the entire team. She was evaluating, analyzing, testing without a word. You have passed the initial trial, she said. But understanding humans is more complex than survival alone. Elias straightened, feeling a mixture of pride and caution. We are ready, he said. We will face whatever you ask of us. Thalira's eyes narrowed slightly. We shall see. She led them down a twisting corridor, lined with glowing symbols that shifted and rearranged themselves as the humans walked. Each step seemed to be observed by the city itself. The walls hummed softly, a vibration that resonated in their chests. Elias felt an odd mix of awe and unease, but he reminded himself, humans had always faced the unknown and survived. At the end of the corridor, they entered a massive open chamber. The space was vast, far larger than anything the humans had ever seen. The floor was smooth, reflective, and crisscrossed by glowing lines of energy. In the center, multiple holographic constructs floated, shifting constantly in shape and form. This is your next challenge, Thalira said, stepping aside to allow them in. Observe, adapt, and overcome. Only then will you understand your potential. The humans stepped cautiously onto the floor. As soon as they did, the platforms beneath them began to shift. Sections rose and fell unpredictably, creating gaps that could swallow a human in an instant. Energy barriers flickered into place, forcing the humans to think quickly and move carefully. Elias gritted his teeth. Stay focused. Watch the patterns. One wrong step, and it could be over. The team moved together, jumping and dodging the shifting platforms. At first, mistakes were frequent. Mira tripped, and Ro nearly fell into a glowing chasm, but each error became a lesson. Humans adapted. They began to anticipate the shifts, reading subtle cues in the movement of the energy beneath their feet. Thalira observed silently, her expression unreadable. She had expected panic, screams, perhaps even failure. Yet here they were, moving with growing confidence, relying not on strength alone, but on coordination, instinct, and clever thinking. Curious, she murmured. They learned quickly, faster than I anticipated. The next challenge appeared as holographic projections along the walls. Each projection showed a scenario, hostile alien creatures attacking smaller, weaker beings. The humans were to make a choice, predicting outcomes, balancing risk and morality. Each decision would either allow survival or lead to failure. Elias studied the projections carefully. We can't fight them head-on. We need to understand their behavior, anticipate it, and act together. Mira nodded.
We can use the environment.
Think ahead, not just react. Ro chimed in, and improvise. If we can't rely on brute force, we rely on our brains and each other. Together, they approached the scenario. Elias guided them through the projections, suggesting movements, assigning roles, and ensuring each person covered the weaknesses of the others. They improvised traps, created distractions, and relied on the strengths of their teammates. The projections shifted and adapted, responding to their choices. Slowly, the humans succeeded. The holographic attackers were neutralized not through force but through clever thinking, cooperation, and moral judgment. Thalira's eyes widened slightly. No species had solved this test without brute force. Humans had relied on strategy, improvisation, and empathy, qualities she had not fully considered. Fascinating, she whispered. They are unpredictable, resilient, intelligent. Before they could celebrate, the floor beneath them trembled violently. New platforms rose, barriers materialized, and a group of alien observers entered the chamber. They were larger than Thalira, armed with energy weapons, and their presence radiated authority and menace. These were not merely observers. They were enforcers.
They're here,
whispered Ro. They look dangerous. Thalira's eyes narrowed. They believe humans are fragile. They are about to learn the truth. The enforcers advanced, creating obstacles designed to isolate the humans. The team faced a critical decision: retreat to safety or confront the threat head-on. Elias quickly assessed the situation. Stay together, watch the patterns, use the terrain, improvise. That's how we survive. The humans moved as one. Ro used his tools to block an energy barrier. Mira calculated timing, jumping precisely across platforms. Elias dodged attacks and guided them with precise commands. Each action defied the expectations of the alien enforcers, who paused in confusion. Humans did not act like other species. They were unpredictable, clever, and resilient. One of the enforcers lunged at Elias with a glowing weapon. Elias ducked and grabbed a nearby tool, using it to jam the enforcer's control panel. Sparks flew, and the weapon malfunctioned. Mira quickly created a makeshift shield, using her suit's energy output. Together, they neutralized the immediate threat without causing serious harm. Thalira observed quietly, a faint glow in her eyes betraying her growing admiration. Humans were surviving in ways no alien had anticipated. Their coordination, creativity, and willingness to protect one another were unmatched. Hours, or what felt like hours, passed as humans faced shifting platforms, unpredictable energy surges, and alien interference. They worked tirelessly, using instinct, communication, and improvisation to overcome each new obstacle. Finally, the energy in the chamber stabilized. The enforcers retreated, their assumptions about human fragility shattered. Elias and his team stood together, exhausted but victorious. Thalira descended to their level, her eyes calm yet intense. You have survived far beyond expectation. You adapt, cooperate, and overcome in ways I did not anticipate. Perhaps humans are not fragile at all. Elias met her gaze. We never are. That's who we are. For the first time, Thalira's expression softened slightly. You intrigue me. I will watch you more closely. Learn more about what makes humans extraordinary. Mira exhaled, letting a small laugh escape. Well, at least someone appreciates us. Thalira's gaze returned to the horizon, her tone both warning and promise. Do not misunderstand. You have succeeded here, but the universe is far harsher than this arena. We shall see if your species truly rises to the challenges ahead. Elias nodded. He felt the weight of her words. This was only the beginning. Aurora Prime and its alien inhabitants would continue to test them, but humans thrived under pressure. They adapted, endured, and found solutions where others saw none. The humans moved to a resting area within the chamber. They were tired, covered in sweat and dust, but their eyes burned with determination. Elias sat and studied the alien city through a massive energy window. Every tower, every glowing symbol seemed alive, watching them, testing them in ways they did not yet understand. Ro broke the silence. Sir, did you notice? They were expecting fear, panic, even failure, but we never gave them that. And now, even Thalira is impressed. Elias allowed himself a small smile. Humans don't give up. That's the difference. That's why we survive, even when others doubt us. Mira leaned back, exhaustion on her face. And it's not just survival. It's the way we think, the way we work together. They've never seen that before. They didn't expect it. Elias nodded. Exactly. And that's just the beginning. Whatever challenges come next, they won't underestimate humans again. Outside, the twin suns set, casting long shadows across Aurora Prime. The alien city glowed softly in the twilight, a living testament to the intelligence and power of its creators. But now, humans had made their mark. They had shown ingenuity, courage, and resilience that no alien could ignore. Thalira watched from above, her thoughts unreadable. But inside, a quiet admiration stirred. Humans were unpredictable. Humans were clever, and humans were extraordinary. Elias and his team gathered for a final debrief of the day. We've done well, Elias said, voice firm but calm. But tomorrow, we need to be ready for anything. The aliens here will continue to test us, and we will continue to prove them wrong. Ro grinned. Sir, I think we already have. They thought we were weak, they were wrong. Elias allowed himself a brief moment of pride before turning his attention back to the alien city. This is just the start. The real test is still ahead, and humans are ready for it. The city's energy pulsed gently in response, almost as if it acknowledged their presence. For the first time, Elias realized that the challenge was not just physical or mental, it was a test of spirit. And on that front, humans were unmatched. As the team settled in for the night, exhaustion pulling at their limbs, Elias looked out at Thalira's silhouette standing atop a tower. She'll watch us, he thought. She'll learn, and maybe she'll finally understand why humans endure, why we succeed, why we are extraordinary. The night fell over Aurora Prime, but the humans were not afraid. They had faced the unknown, adapted, survived, and begun to prove themselves. And somewhere, high above, Thalira's gaze lingered, a silent promise echoing in the energy of the city. This is only the beginning. The night on Aurora Prime was silent, but for Elias Kane and his team, sleep was a fleeting thought. The alien city pulsed with quiet energy, shadows moving unnaturally across the towers. Every step they had taken so far had been a test, but Elias knew the real challenge was approaching. Thalira had watched them with keen interest. She had underestimated humans once, assuming their fragility would make them easy to control. But now, she saw it clearly. Humans were clever, adaptable, and unpredictable. And unpredictability was a weapon no alien could fully anticipate. Elias stood at the edge of the observation deck, overlooking the vast city below. We've survived the first tests, he said softly, more to himself than to anyone else. But I can feel it. Something bigger is coming. Mirahan joined him, her arms folded. Do you think Thalira will help us if things get dangerous? Elias shook his head. She's not an enemy, but she's not an ally either. She's an observer. Whatever happens next, we rely on ourselves. A low rumble echoed through the city. The walls of the observation chamber vibrated gently, the energy flowing through the towers, shifting faster, more violently. Suddenly, the calm was broken by a group of alien warships descending from the sky. Unlike Thalira's people, these aliens were aggressive, sleek, and heavily armed. Their armor glinted in the faint light, and their eyes, if they had any, burned with a predatory intensity. Ro, ever the practical one, immediately scanned for cover. Looks like trouble, he muttered. Real trouble. Elias's jaw tightened. Everyone stay calm, observe, adapt, improvise. That's how we survive. The warships landed, sending tremors through the city's foundations. Alien soldiers emerged, weapons raised. They had come to capture humans, to study them as specimens, or worse. Their confidence was absolute. They had expected fear, submission, or panic. What they did not expect was human courage. The humans moved as one, guided by Elias's calm leadership. Spread out, but stay within sight. Use the terrain. Think, don't fight blindly. The aliens advanced quickly, their energy weapons humming with lethal precision. One soldier aimed directly at Ro, but Elias shouted, "Dodge and improvise." Ro rolled behind a glowing pillar and grabbed a fallen energy panel, slamming it into the alien's weapon. Sparks flew and the weapon misfired. The alien stumbled, giving Ro a chance to escape. Mira moved simultaneously, calculating the angles of the next attack. Using the reflective surfaces of the chamber, she redirected an energy beam to disable a portion of the enemy's shields. Small victories like this began to pile up, creating confusion among the alien attackers. Thalira watched from above, her expression unreadable, yet her eyes glimmered with fascination. They are clever, resourceful. Even under pressure, they think, adapt, and act as one. Unpredictable indeed. The humans were not just surviving. They were turning the enemy's strength against them. A group of aliens attempted to corner Elias and Mira near the central energy conduit. Elias spotted the pattern in their movement. "Ro, now!" he shouted. Ro tossed a makeshift device toward the conduit. It sparked and surged, creating a temporary energy field that blocked the aliens' advance. The humans moved through the gap, forcing the aliens to adjust. Every action by the humans forced the alien attackers to rethink their strategy. Hours, or what felt like hours, passed in a blur of combat, improvisation, and strategy. The humans never attacked directly. They moved, dodged, created diversions, and used the environment and technology around them to gain advantage. Each alien soldier expected predictable behavior, and each time they miscalculated, the humans used it to survive. Elias noticed something remarkable. Even the smallest human actions had outsized effects. A tool thrown in the right direction could topple an alien barrier. A reflective panel redirected energy beams to disable weapons. A shouted instruction coordinated a movement that no alien could anticipate. Humans were small in size and strength, but their intelligence, coordination, and creativity made them formidable. Thalira stepped closer to the edge of the tower above, watching carefully. She realized the humans were not just adapting, they were thriving. Her assessment of them as fragile had been completely wrong. "They are extraordinary," she whispered. "Stronger than I imagined, not in muscle or armor, but in mind and spirit." One particularly dangerous moment arose when an alien soldier grabbed Mira, attempting to drag her toward a holding cell. Elias acted instantly. Using a loose energy conduit, he swung across the chamber, knocking the alien off balance. Ro joined in, creating a diversion that allowed Mira to escape. Elias's heart pounded, but he remained focused. "We don't give up. Not one step. Not one life." Mira nodded, panting but steady. "We can do this. We just have to keep thinking ahead." The humans began to anticipate the aliens' moves more effectively. They coordinated silently, using hand signals and subtle cues to position themselves strategically. Every action, every improvised tool, every choice showcased human ingenuity and teamwork. The alien soldiers grew increasingly frustrated. Their confidence wavered. Their previous assumption that humans would break under pressure was proven completely false. Thalira moved closer, descending to observe from the chamber floor. She spoke softly, almost to herself. "They do not fear. They do not panic. They learn and overcome. They are unlike any species I have encountered." The tide of the confrontation began to shift. Humans were now controlling the battlefield indirectly. The aliens, expecting easy victories, were instead being forced into mistakes. Every misstep on their part gave the humans an opening. Elias saw the opening. Now, focus on their weapons, disable their shields, and move together. The humans sprang into action. Ro created small electromagnetic pulses to disrupt alien weapons. Mira used the reflective panels to redirect energy blasts toward weak points in their armor. Elias coordinated each movement, predicting alien responses and adjusting instantly. The alien soldiers faltered. For the first time, they experienced real doubt. Their expectations had been shattered. The humans, small and seemingly weak, were outsmarting them at every turn. Thalira's eyes glimmered with recognition. They are not fragile. They are clever beyond measure and united. Finally, the alien attackers retreated, unable to predict the humans' next moves. The humans stood together, exhausted but victorious. Every pulse of energy in the chamber seemed to acknowledge their triumph, the alien city itself resonating with their ingenuity. Elias lowered his weapon, his chest heaving. We survived, not because we are stronger, but because we think, adapt, and never give up. Mira and Ro nodded, equally exhausted but exhilarated. They underestimated us, Mira said, and that's their mistake. Thalira stepped closer, her expression calm but intense. Humans, you are remarkable. You do not fight as others do. You adapt, you endure, and you create solutions where none exist. I misjudged you. Elias met her gaze steadily. We always survive because we refuse to give up. That's who we are. For the first time, Thalira's respect for humans was evident. She had observed countless species, measured intelligence, strength, and instincts, but humans were different. Their unpredictability, ingenuity, and unity made them formidable beyond conventional measures. Perhaps, she whispered, almost reverently, there is more to humans than I ever imagined. Their true strength is not muscle or weaponry. It is spirit, intelligence, and the will to endure. Outside, the twin suns had nearly disappeared, leaving the city glowing softly under Aurora Prime's 2 moons. The humans had survived their first real battle against hostile aliens, not by strength alone, but through strategy, creativity, and unyielding courage. Elias gathered his team. This is only the beginning. The galaxy will not underestimate us again, but neither will we stop learning, adapting, and growing stronger. Ro grinned. Sir, I think we just showed the universe what humans are capable of. Mira laughed softly, exhaustion and relief mingling in her voice, and Thalira saw it too. She knows now. Humans are different. Thalira's voice rang softly from the shadows. Yes, different, extraordinary. But your trials are far from over. The galaxy is vast, and not all who watch you are as tolerant as I am. Elias nodded. Then we'll face them too. Together. That's what humans do. The city around them pulsed quietly, as if acknowledging the humans' ingenuity and resolve. They had faced a seemingly impossible challenge and prevailed, proving that human adaptability, courage, and intelligence could overcome even the most advanced alien forces. And somewhere high above, Thalira's eyes lingered on the humans, her admiration unmistakable. She had underestimated them once, and it had nearly been her mistake. Elias and his team finally allowed themselves to rest, but the fire within them burned brighter than ever. They had faced an impossible enemy and survived, not by strength alone, but by using every ounce of human creativity, coordination, and willpower. The night of Aurora Prime was quiet, but the humans' triumph echoed far beyond the city. They had proven, to aliens and themselves alike, that humans endure, humans adapt, and humans prevail against the odds. Tomorrow, the trials would continue, but Elias knew this truth would guide them through anything the galaxy could throw at them. Humans were not just survivors. They were extraordinary.